he's doing the bidding of Vladimir Putin? If the American people don't care about that?
CNN claim that Donald Trump is a Russian plant before admitting they have no evidence. CNN, are you going to just continue saying stuff that's completely arbitrary and not backed by fact? That's basically what we do now on CNN. We accuse people of being Russian agents.
Donald Trump is saying everything Vladimir Putin would say. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the American people generally don't care about what's going on over there. The American president right now could be a plant, could be a Russian asset.
That's an amazing claim. That's how propaganda works. The other reason he could be saying the same things as Putin is because it's the truth and it's common sense. This is a war that cannot exist without the support of the United States of America, and Russia are the other combatant nation. So if Russia and the United States come to an agreement, that's the end of the conflict. Ukraine would have to become some little terrorist guerrilla organization perpetuating unsustainable, crazy acts of terror in order to maintain the voice of their cause. There's a lot of people and groups around the world that are doing precisely that, but they ain't had their conflict or cause bolted on to globalist imperialism, presumably because there ain't a profit to be made out of it. We all know that. We all know that when we're concerned about one particular Middle Eastern conflict, there are other comparable conflicts in which people are dying. I.e., what just went on in the Congo with 70 Christians being beheaded that I don't even know about for some reason. So CNN are primarily, almost solely, about amplifying the interest of these peculiar globalist forces that have zombied their way into American government. I'm using zombie to evoke the image of Joe Biden quite deliberately there, and are now opposed by populist nationalism, and we all know who the avatar of that is in America.
I mean, think about that. Here I am, I know it's early in the morning to say something like that, but think about that.
This is also a problem with television. Both that dude there and Paulette Hamilton, they're engaging in televisual rhetoric. When you go on one of those shows and you sit behind a little banquette desk like that, minutes before you come on, there's people in headsets, and when you're in the dressing room, people are saying, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump and whether or not he's a Russian asset. We really need someone on the panel to say that he's a Russian asset, that he could be a Russian asset. So that guy's sort of been cast to say that. Now, we're used to on MSNBC, CBS, etc., having someone come out and advocate for war. It's the only way to stand up to bullies like Putin is by war. Continual war. It's the only language they understand. Right. As well as being a former general, are you on the board of any military-industrial complex organizations? That is not relevant to this matter. Is it Raytheon? No, that is not relevant to this matter. Is it Boeing? That is not relevant to this matter. Who is it? It's Northrop Grumman. They're always on the board. These people are avatars and voices of different interests, either economic or bureaucratic, that are advancing a globalist supremacist, the irony, cause. Because nationalism is often a bulwark, or it seems in our contemporary conversation, is the only bulwark against advancing globalism. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about that. So, of course, they have to undermine, decry, and attack any totem around which nationalism can form.
And if the American people don't care about that Putin might have something on Trump, that he's an asset.
Back to the P-tapes. They're going back to the P-tapes. This is 2025. Putin, I don't know what it is, but he's got some hold over Trump. Maybe Trump, the only way Trump can get an erection is by looking at pictures of the Kremlin. I think that's what it must be. Stop making it weird. What it is Russia are a global superpower. America are a global superpower. America was previously being manipulated by globalist economic forces, and now it ain't. There probably are different elites. You can even see the figures that are from those elites that are being elevated, like Elon Musk being an obvious example. But what's happening explicitly, plainly, and observably is merely what was happening invisibly and opaquely in previous administrations. So there ain't a moral judgment that can be made about it. You can't morally go, hey, I prefer Bill Gates to Elon Musk. He's a better billionaire. Or I prefer George Soros. All you can say is, ow, my side's not winning anymore and it's getting on my nerves.
That he's a plant, that he's doing the bidding of Vladimir Putin. If the American people don't care about that,
well, the thing is, listen.
I'm sorry to get us off the topic.
We don't have evidence of that. I mean, the point about their positions being aligned is a different.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, sorry, I don't have any evidence. I was just saying stuff. I was on the television. I got excited. I just thought I'd say something incendiary. So there you have it. Trump is doing in plain sight what the bureaucracies of globalism are doing invisibly and disingenuously. Do you think that the IMF and BlackRock component to the UK's ongoing support of Ukraine is irrelevant and insignificant? Isn't Trump just saying if you want us to continue supporting Ukraine, you're going to need to ensure that the American taxpayer gets that money back? What's the problem with that? How's it different from what you're doing? Isn't it curious that Ursula von der Leyen is making pledges? What's her mandate? Where's her power come from? When was she last elected into this position of supremacy within the EU? I'm sure there are answers to that. I'd also like her to answer this question. What were those text deals you were doing for vaccines? What was your communication with Albert Bourla during the pandemic? You can't trust these people. You can't trust these globalist bureaucrats. Not for a second, not for a moment. The lack of trust has caused new nativist politics to come to the forefront. And, well, unless there's some alternative, like an ever-loving God that you find in your own heart and then practice government based on those principles, unless people are going to start really, truly awakening, I reckon not ethno-nationalism, but nationalist populism, it's about as good as it's going to get. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat about that? Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.